The strangest thing with being the scapegoat is that it is imposed upon you, but you then internalize it. As we know with psychology, internalizing is a very fundamental aspect of like trauma. But what that means is that as an adult, it's not happening to you. You are participating in it. So you end up, what that means is that you end up having a choice, even though that choice is not apparent on the surface. It is still a choice that is within you. It's inside, it's very deep, and it will present itself if you keep observing and acknowledging and taking action, right? Like the saying, like awareness, acknowledgement, and action. So if you are honest, if you observe and acknowledge what's happening honestly, it will lead to different actions. But the key is acknowledgement. You have to acknowledge the truth. You have to acknowledge the part of you that comes up that says, I would rather be small because this is scary. I would rather maintain this connection than to be my true self. And that is scary, but also not readily available. The very first time you face it, you may not see it. But the more you're willing to be honest and courageous, the more you'll see that, and the more your life will change. And you might notice it in really unexpected ways. Like, for example, I recently had the occasion to set a boundary. I was trying to implement the knowledge that narcissistic personalities find their victim by testing them, right? They test a minor boundary violation and see how you operate, how you respond. And the normal reaction to such a thing is that it's not a big deal, and it really truly is not a big deal. That first boundary violation is not a big deal. Like, for example, in this case, the first boundary violation was that this person was just like, had a tone. I had let her know that I was available for whatever, for work going forward. And she calls me the very next day without a schedule, without an appointment, and is annoyed that I don't pick up. Why? Do you think I'm sitting there on bated breath waiting for you to call? No, I have another life. We do not have an appointment. I'm not your full-time employee. You have not paid for my time. I'm not available all day long. And in fact, I was actually choosing the state of power when I didn't pick up because I was driving and it wasn't going to be the best situation for me to pick up. And instead, she has this tone that, like, it's my fault that I'm not available, and it's my fault that she's going to have to do this work herself, and it's my fault that she doesn't have work to give me at the level that I had expressed would be ideal. And I was like, that's okay. My first reaction was, it's not a big deal. But I noticed that at the end of the night, I kind of blurted out an annoying, like, response, like, this was annoying. And my husband noticed that. My husband was like, no, you have to set a boundary. You have to, like, not let this continue because she's going to take advantage of that. And at first I was like, my husband didn't actually say those things. My husband was like really concerned for me because I have this history, right, with being scapegoated. And I was like, actually, I'm not that bothered by it. You're more bothered. But his reaction showed me something. And by the next day, I was like, you know what? I might not think this is a big deal, but that is exactly what that first step looks like. The first step is them violating a minor boundary and the scapegoat letting it go because it's not a big deal. The scapegoat, in their, eternal strength or whatever, personality of endurance, will say, I choose harmony. And they are right for a functional relationship. It is quite, you know, mighty of them to be able to choose harmony over just fighting for every little thing, but not with a dysfunctional person. So I was like, he's right. This is that first instance. And so I spent a lot of time processing that, figuring out how to respond, what to do, what was the right thing. And ultimately, what I felt was like my body was rejecting it so violently, like not even violently, but like it was very palpable. And I was like, okay, I have gotten this awareness recently that what I do is I keep overriding that instinct and doing what I don't want to do because it's safe. This is that tiny, like they say the Titanic rotates with tiny propellers. This is that moment of turning the tiny propeller. Seems really small, but it's that moment of truth where I can listen to that instinct that says this is not what I want to do, or I can just override it because it's easier. It's like I'm going to override it, both because it's small and also because this is paramount. And I did that, and sure enough, exactly as I expected, the person just completely disappeared. They tend to do that. Like if you ever, so what came before that was that I had asked for a conversation. She avoided me like a plague, just would not return my call, wouldn't return my emails asking for conversation. But she assigned me work, which was telling. She was testing me to see, will I accept the work without the respect of having a conversation. And then she assigns work on the weekend, which was another violation. She had screwed up, not assigning it earlier, not responding earlier because she didn't want to talk to me, or for whatever reason. And now on a Saturday evening, no less, at 5:30 plus, she had messaged saying, "Hey, this is the work, and I need it by Monday morning," which was basically like, ruin your weekend. It's not a problem. I don't have a problem with working on the weekend. It was that clean up my mess at your expense. Let me see if you'll do it. Especially in the context of you've asked for a call and I have not responded. I have not given you a chance to set a boundary, and now I want to see how far you'll go. I want to see if you'll still clean up my mess. And if you do, you are someone I want. I want a scapegoat, and I'm testing you to see if you're that person. And I listened to the part of me that said, like, I do not want to do this work on, I just don't want to do it. I had all these reasons, but like, it's really important to get rid of the reasons and just be authentic. But like, my body says no. It's not to say you always do it, because my body might also say, I want a pizza. That's not what I'm saying. And my body might say all sorts of things like, I don't want to do the work because I'm an unlearner. Like, I just want to blow up my life and destroy everything good in my life. But when you have authenticity and awareness, you'll start to be able to discern which one is a truth-based, I don't want to do it, and which one is your scapegoat, I don't want to do it because I want to blow up everything good in my life. So I set that boundary. I said I can't do it by Monday. That's all I said. And it was actually quite powerful because I basically was choosing to not engage, and before that I felt the need to have to explain to her why I couldn't do it, and I just was like, she's not giving me a chance to explain. I'm not going to explain by email. It's enough for me for right now to just say I'm not available. I can't, not even I'm not available. I can't do this by Monday. And that was it. Sure enough, this person completely disappeared. And for a second, they came back like Tuesday, and it looked like it might give me another task. I was like, I'm actually kind of shocked. And I was at first annoyed that, like, this cockroach that won't die, that won't go away. But then my husband pointed out, well, actually, if she's someone who's able to, like, hear your boundary and respect it, that's not bad. I was like, he's right. I just was so stuck in my way of thinking, being so sure in my instinct that this person is a type that I think she is, that I just didn't think that was a possibility. I knew she couldn't accept a boundary and honor it, and that this was done. But if that's the case, that's amazing. If I could work with them, if I could work someone who can respect that boundary, that is new. That would mean that I kind of got excited. I actually did get excited, not kind of. Well, yeah, kind of. So I got excited, and not 30 minutes later, I got a message from them. Oh, actually, that was a mistake. It's like, yep, no surprise. They are exactly what I predicted them to be. Not for me. They are dysfunctional, toxic, narcissistic, who wanted a scapegoat, and it's not me. And I haven't heard from them since. So, point being that there will come these moments where you have to do something scary, because the old way of being the scapegoat is comfortable. It feels safer. But ask yourself this: has it paid off? If it has, by all means, continue. I'm not here to tell you what to do, what is right or wrong. Please hear me when I say there's no right or wrong. Right or wrong gets you more into the scapegoat. Every time I think about, ooh, what's right, I'm stuck in everything is wrong. I'm wrong if I do, I'm wrong if I don't. The minute I'm in wrong, if I do wrong, if I don't, I'm in my scapegoat. No questions. I'm engaging with the scapegoat identity. So please know that I'm not saying if you continue, that's wrong and you're not doing it right or whatever. If that's working for you, by all means continue, and I'm happy for you, truly. Wasn't for me. And so, for those of you for whom it hasn't worked, here's the thought. Let me know.